Thank you for coming once again, and it's a privilege for me also to come here once again and meet all of you. Thank you for taking the trouble of coming, some of you from such great distances that you've come all the way here to listen to this small talk that Help Library is now become famous for. So thank you once again. So as you can see, my name is Jayaram. What I'm going to talk today, and I'd like to make it as interactive as possible, what I'd like to talk is on doctors in your life. Who are all the doctors in your life? When we say doctors in our life, कौन होते हैं वो doctors?
Start it all from the grandmother, the mother.
Absolutely right. You are absolutely right, sir. It's such wonderful to know that the moment I even introduced the topic, see how beautifully you came out with an answer yourself. And that's exactly what we are going to do today. We are going to get back into how many doctors do we face in our lives and how they impact our health and how they impact our lives. So, who is the first doctor in your life?
Mother. No, it is the grandmother.
Okay. Okay. The first doctor in your life is doctor.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, yes. For delivery.
The first person in life who sees you,
Yes.
earlier it was midwife, today it is the gynecologist. So even before anybody else has seen you, the doctor is the first person to see you. So the responsibility of the doctor delivering the child is the highest. So the first doctor in your life, you will never even see that doctor probably, you will never even remember the doctor who has delivered each of you. But that doctor has such an impact in your life that most of us ignore that doctor without realizing that this is the doctor who brought us into this world. Right? So the first doctor in your life is the doctor himself or herself who brought us. The impact of that in your health may not be seen. It will be seen immediately when the delivery happens, either right or wrong. After that, it probably, the doctor is not responsible for most things, except of course when the child has to keep going to that doctor maybe once in a month or for first 2-3 months that the child is normally expected to go. Other than that, this doctor doesn't have much of an impact. But this doctor is the first one who impacts the first birth of each person in this world, whether it's a midwife or whether it's a real doctor. They are the one who actually impact your life first. Then comes your mother. Of course, I'm sure you can go back to your grandmother and several of them, but I'm not going back to several years of grandparentage. फिर तो बहुत सारे लोग होंगे हमारे जिंदगी में. But I'm only touching the key people. So the next person in our life is the mother. The reason why I'm saying the next person in the life is the mother, because the mother is the one who takes you from cradle. He's there right from cradle, nursing, caring, loving, and taking you through each sphere of your life. Every step that you take, it's the mother who impacts you. If that impact is wrong, it can negate your life very negatively. It can harm, it can damage. And that's why the mother is one of the most careful persons. She wants to give the best. And the best that comes out is through life and through love. Okay? And therefore, she is one of the best doctors. And this impact of mother lives lifelong for you. Okay? Whether people come or whether people go, this impact with the mother that you've had never goes off. So therefore we say mother is one of the best doctors in your life. Literally, she's also a doctor. When you are unwell, she gives you either home remedies or takes you to a doctor. Of course, we'll come to the father and the father's role, but the concern that the mother shows for the child is impacted immediately, and she has intuitive sense. as much as the doctor diagnosis, when the doctor does a diagnosis for you, there is an intuitive sense that the doctor says, ye problem nahi hai, ye problem hai. Your mother is exactly the same. She's a doctor because she uses her intuitive power. This is not the problem. I know that my child is not hungry. Uska पेट दर्द हो रहा है, उसको भूख नहीं है. How does she determine that? These are some of those unexplained phenomena, even in the medical science, where you don't know. How does she use her intuitive sense to prove this? And she'll be right. So that's why we say one of the best forces of doctorship in life is your mother. Father. Your father is also a doctor. As you grow in life, some of those difficult questions that you have is you ask him. Something relating to education, you need money, you will ask. Okay, but there's a difference between the father and the mother, the doctorship. The father gives you a different kind of a healing. Okay, the father gives you, to some extent, even a tougher healing. During our times, it used to be even rapping, but today, of course, that is, they say that is not allowed. But yeah, that upbringing was also different, and of course, it had its good impacts also. The difference between the father doctorship and the mother doctorship is that when you want to ask something, you first go to your mother, I want this. She'll say, okay, let me check with father. The father will say, अच्छा इतना तब पैसा चाहिए, दे दो, नहीं दे सकते हैं. Then your mother will say, क्यों नहीं दे सकते, दे दो ना. Okay, so then he'll ask the son, okay, where do you want to go? Why do you want to go? How much? 5 rupees. Why 5 rupees? Why 4 rupees won't be enough? He said, no, 4 rupees won't be enough because I have to go and come back also. Okay, then I will give you 4 rupees 50 paise. Why 5 rupees? So the father negotiates, the mother loves. So that is the difference between the two people. Okay, but both are important. So he also becomes a doctor in your life because he teaches you a different set of things, a different set of values, and a different set of ethical behavior, where you know when you grow up that each of these are difficult. I mean, when I become a father, how difficult it is. You learn those lessons from a father, that it's not just throwaway. Everything has value, everything has money, everything has to be looked at critically, everything has to get into the depth. So you learn some of those things. The combination of the father and mother is again the best doctorship, because they complement each other, and when they complement each other, what happens? You learn the love from both of them. How it impacts your life? Yeah, it definitely impacts the life. When they stay together, when the parents are happy, the child is happy. When the parents are unhappy, what happens? It breaks, and when it breaks, there's trauma, and when there is trauma, it affects your health. Okay, so a happy family, the family that eats together stays together, they say. So therefore, the family that lives together is a happy family, and that's where it impacts your life and your health. Siblings, your brother, your sister, do they impact your life?
Yes.
If you want something, आप क्या करते हो? If you have a brother or sister, you will first उनके साथ negotiate करते हो, influence करते हैं, and then we'll say, let's go together. अकेले जाने से होगा नहीं, दोनों साथ में जाते हैं. So, and if there are 3 of them, all 3 will come together to ask something. And the moment they come, you know why they have come. Okay, so your siblings also play an extremely important part in being doctors to you, because they teach you the value of we need to come together. When you come together, when you come together, you achieve an objective. So they are doctors in your life, because if the siblings start disintegrating, what happens? It starts impacting you. It starts impacting the family, and it starts impacting you. Health, life, mental. When the siblings start breaking off, it does impact hell of a lot in your life. And therefore the families also start disintegrating. Okay. Internally you might say, no, everything is fine. But deep down, it does impact your life. Your siblings become your next doctors in life. I'm using the word doctor incidentally, not as a medical terminology. I'm using it as a metaphor for our thinking. Doctors are not people who doctors are people who physically cure you. But there is a larger set of doctors in our life who are responsible for maintaining our health. If all these doctors work in your life, you don't have to go to the doctor at all.
Just not it is not only medicine. What is playing a very important role in the development of child as a healthy individual is love and
Absolutely.
That love and intimacy is not available from a paid professional.
Yes.
It will be available from a mother, father,
And sibling.
siblings, even friends.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Your teacher. Is your teacher a extremely important doctor in your life?
Of
The subjects that you do well in your life, there are some subjects which are favorite to you, no?
yeah,
Why is it?
because of the teaching.
Because of that teacher. You like that teacher, automatically that subject becomes your favorite. Have you seen that? The teacher that you don't like, you may like the subject, but you just don't like the teacher, and you find that it has such a high impact, even in your education. You take up the education based on what the teacher has given. If you like your English teacher, it is very natural that your English will be good. If you like your PT teacher, you end up willy-nilly becoming a sportsman. Okay, just go back to your life. Turn back your clock and see whether it is true for you. Your teacher is one of the best doctors, because what the teacher teaches you in the class, you go and ratao at home. आप घर में जाके रटते हो. Even if your parents correct you, you will say, no, this is right. Why? Because my teacher has taught me. Correct? The faith that you have on your teacher a few years later becomes even more than your parents. Why? Because the teacher is there, and you always think that the teacher is right. My teacher cannot be wrong. See, that's how we grow up. Because in that infant mind, in that child mind, we learn that teacher is ultimately right. And therefore, the responsibility that the teacher has as the doctor in our life is tremendous. And therefore, education becomes important. And therefore, the profession of teaching becomes important. Because teachers have to realize that they are doctors in your life. They make you or they mar you, and they impact you. Your friends. So you go, you read, you climb, you study. As you keep studying, you going to school, you make a lot of friends. Some of your school friends remain friends with you lifetime. As you grow up college and as you keep studying, very many people come wither away from your lives. But your school friends, very many of them, not all of them, but some of those key people who are there in your life today relate back to maybe 50 or 60 years back. These are people, these were the doctors in your life, because the company that you kept told you, and they always dragged you into telling you whether you are right or wrong. You may have had a lot of wonderful mischiefs with them, but those taught you a lesson. And if these friends had not been there, probably you would have missed out a lot in your life. So these friends tell you, even if you have done something not right with them, that has taught you a lesson. And the friends who are not needed in your life anyway are not there with you. They would not be there. And those of them who are there with you will stand you through thick and thin. They are your great doctors because they have been with you. They know probably even more than what your parents know. Because a lot of secrets are known to your friends. It may not be known to the rest of the family members. Why? Because you have a faith. You confide in them. And that's how you've grown up. That's how the intimacy has grown. They impact your life tremendously. Your spouse, either husband or wife. So after you finish these cycles, you get married, you get education, you get married, then what happens? A partner enters your life. That person again becomes, for the rest of your life, to a very significant extent, spouse plays a very big role of a doctor. She's there or he is there when you need, in your time of crisis, in your time when the child is born, in your time of fights at home, in your time of eating, drinking, making merry, when you are sick, or when she is sick, when he is sick, when family members are sick. Your wife or your husbands are there. They're supposed to be there. Where there is dispersions, where there is a breakage, we are not talking about that. We are talking about a normal life. Where your wife then starts taking slowly the role of the mother. Okay, slowly your cycle gets to go round once again. And then you have children, those children get taken care of, then they become the grandchild, they become the grandparents. So the whole cycle you see coming back on from the time you get married to you get children. Why your spouse is also very important is some of the directions that you had got in your life till here sometimes starts getting undone. And then you think that, अरे यार मैं शादी के पहले तो ऐसा था, अब शादी के बाद देखो क्या हो रहा है. Now शादी के बाद क्या हो रहा है is because this doctor is now giving you a different kind of input, which you had never got so far. So you need to have tolerance, patience. You need to learn those new things, because your life will get curated and you might probably navigate better in your life after you get a partner. You don't know that. Okay? So therefore, this doctor who enters your life can bring in a new set of things, can bring in a new set of values, may probably open your mind to look at it differently than what you have been seeing so far. So that's an important doctor who impacts your life. Then your children, we just spoke about it. Your children, when you get married and you have children. And why these children are important? Sometimes they say even children can be gods. Okay, children can be parent for a father. Your children teach you lot more new things also, which you probably haven't learned. And as they keep growing up, when they become teenagers, when they become adolescents, they start teaching you actually more than what you know. And why I'm saying that is, आप अपने बच्चों को ले जाओ, or you take your grandchildren and वो आधार कार्ड के लाइन पे खड़े हो जाओ या राशन कार्ड बनाना है, and you are struggling to fill the form, they will take the form भर के दे देंगे. Have you seen that? Okay, you may be very slow, but they are very fast. Mobile. All that who teaches you, they teach you. Okay, why? Isn't that doctoring in your life? Isn't that a teacher in your life? Now, as doctors, what responsibility do children take? They really may not really be a curing doctor for you, but they are very good teaching doctors. What you have not done so far is something that they can teach you. They can also give you a different perspective for your life. They can make you far more agile. When you are sick and when you are down, and when you have your children or when you have your grandchildren playing, just try and cajole and go down and start talking. From where do you get that energy? Suddenly there is a spurt of energy. Why? Now that's the doctor that even a grandchild or grandchildren can do for you. Even if you feel sick, you start rejuvenating the moment that environment comes in. That's the doctor that you see in your life. Your boss. Good or a bad doctor? Yeah. A boss is sometimes right, not always right. Why I use the boss and actually I can show you three of them: the boss, the subordinate, and the peers. Your boss, because there is a wisdom which you probably lack or I probably lack, and my boss probably has a little more than that. Normally we learn from them because they probably have more experience and they can help us navigate through our tasks and reach our objectives more clearer than what we can. They're also supposed to be our mentors, coach, whatever we want. But they are doctors in a typical way because when you need to grow in your career and you need a direction, they are the ones who are supposed to show you that direction and help you to reach that. Whether it happens today or no, I mean, we are in a different century today, but in a non-technology driven stage in our lives 25 years ago, this responsibility was very high. Today technology has taken control of most things, so even if you don't have a boss, you can work from home. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. But typically the boss is supposed to take care of you, and the fact that he or she is there with you as a friend and not really as a boss is what the doctoring is all about. Subordinates. I have learned a lot from many of my subordinates over the last 38 years that I have worked in. The kind of lessons that you learn is, I have my mindset. मेरा दिमाग ऐसा ही चलता है. My subordinate can give me a different mindset. And when they, like children, they show you a different way of working. When they show you a different way of working, you start seeing that, yeah, so this is giving me the advantage, this is giving me the objective, I'm able to reach decisions faster. And then you start wondering, yeah, this is also a good way. How have they doctored you? They have not told you you need to do this. You are the boss, so they can't tell you do this, but they can help you to show you different ways very politely, and that's what they do. When they do and when you succeed, that's exactly what the doctor has done. They have given you a prescription without even knowing. So that prescription आप गोली खाते हो, यहाँ पर आपके subordinate ने या आपके peers ने आपको दवाई तो नहीं दी, but they have very nicely shown you another path, another way of doing it. If had it not been for them, you would be only saddled by your boss and you would be only going by what your boss is saying, and you would have missed out inputs from two other people. Okay, so therefore they become doctors in your life, and that is why today many companies have something that we call as 360 degrees appraisal. Appraisal सिर्फ बॉस नहीं देता है, आपके दूसरे लोग भी देते हैं. Why? Correct. Why? Because
Each person
has a perspective.
a different aspect of life.
Correct. Absolutely.
Some total picture will be available only when you condense it.
That's right.
They
So
will show you your blind spots.
yes, superb. They will show you your blind spots. Yeah, absolutely. So beautifully you said it. These are people who show you your blind spots. A boss will show you the spot that you've always seen, or maybe a different spot. These are people who will show you those parts which you don't know. I don't know, but they know. Some of us have gurus. Many of you would have some gurus in some form or the other in your lives.
Guru's mentors.
Yeah, gurus. Yeah, but we always have some silent. We always have some silent gurus.
Silent.
Okay, or you may go to a temple. That temple may be a guru, or you have some physical being, and you keep attending that speech every day. So today we have so many of them. So we keep attending those speeches. They become your guru. They actually become your very significant doctors in your life,
Yeah.
because you keep listening to them. That inputs keep going into you. You start believing in that, and you start living that. The moment you internalize and start living that, that doctoring in you has already happened. वो प्रिस्क्रिप्शन होता है ना, वो गोली की तरह प्रिस्क्रिप्शन नहीं होता गुरु से, वो इनपुट्स दिमाग से होता है. And very often when you attend some of these speeches or talks, even that 1 hour is enough. रात को भी अगर सुनते हैं तो आपको कितना अच्छा लगता है. You feel that there is something different that has come. Now that impacts your life so significantly that even when you are in a trauma and when you listen to it, you feel very, at least for that 1 hour, you feel very convinced. Now that's the doctoring in your life, and what a significant role these gurus can play in doctoring your life.
Yes.
People, you can call them critics, you can call them enemies, you can call them by whatever name. They are also doctors in your life, because if everything were good for you and if everybody says, very beautiful, then who will tell you the not beautiful ones?
Somebody has to hold the mirror.
Somebody has to hold the mirror. Very good. Super. So who will hold that mirror? Critics are the people who do that. Today, of course, we have a lot of people like coaches and mentors and counselors. We have those. So, but I'm not taking all of them, because then there'll be so many of them that will be gurus and who will be doctors in our life. But I only use the word critics from an angle that they're genuine critics, and not critics who keep criticizing.
Fault find.
Yes, fault finders.
They show you the moments of truth.
Yeah. See, there is a difference between critiquing and criticizing. Criticizing is maru, negative. Critiquing is, there is a positive indicator by criticizing you for the sake of improving you, to make it positive. Okay, so the genuine critiques are one of your very significant inputters for your life, because that impacts your health, that impacts the way you think. And why I am talking about all this as your health is because it is mental, and we are talking about only mental health right now. We are talking about purely mental health and how this mental health can impact you. These are people who can impact your mental health. Your spiritual seekers, similar to guru. Okay, they may not really be your guru, but maybe a large circle of friends who are all going towards seeking some spiritual pursuit. You attend a church congregation, you attend something in the masjid, and there is a program going on, there's a speaker, or you go to some temple and there is a congregation of people sitting in. These are people also who give you that spiritual input, which impacts your health tremendously. Particularly at the time you see older people saying that, oh, what do I do? वहाँ पर प्रवचन चल रहा है एक हफ्ते के लिए, मुझे एक सप्ताह के लिए जाना है. And every evening they go. Why do they go? Whole day they sit at home, but they look forward for that evening because they find it very rejuvenating. And the best doctor in your life is the person who can rejuvenate you and give you, even if it is a temporary happiness for that 1 or 2 hours, that's the doctor. And some of these spiritual gurus, and I'm not talking about miraculous spiritual gurus, even a person who just talks to you, that a spiritual guru is good enough. And you go, you look forward to being there, and you just come back, kitna acha laga.
Like health plays the major role.
Yes, this forum itself is doing that. This health forum itself is doing that, rejuvenating people. People just come and listen and then take back new inputs. And how wonderful one feels. And the last one is your conscience. Your conscience,
That's the biggest one.
that is the largest doctor. And no doctor can beat this. Even if all these doctors are wrong, this doctor can never be wrong. And what do? We always ignore this doctor. हम ये सब डॉक्टर की सुनते हैं, लेकिन अपने कॉन्शियस की नहीं सुनते. The conscious will always tell you, don't do this, it's wrong. Even if it is difficult for you, don't do this. But we will exactly go and do this because we have been influenced by so many other people. So we want to do this. And then you say, yaar, my intuition told me I shouldn't do it. मैंने किया, देखो क्या हुआ. Your conscience is today your biggest doctor, and your conscience can never fail you. Your guardian angel or your master, your universe. I mean, your biggest doctor is your universe. The universe is telling you don't do it. You know, and you know you're doing it wrong, and still we do it. So your biggest doctor is this. We need to practice the art of listening to our conscience. That's a different topic by itself. Someday we can look at it. How do you just look at your conscience and what the conscience tells you? Why is it right? The conscience can never be wrong. Why is it right? The conscience doesn't tell you do this. The conscience will tell you see whether you want to do this. It gives you indications, indicators. But we as humans want to do what we still think is right. And I have left 2 places blank. And the reason why I have left both these places blank is that is for everybody to fill. All of you can fill in more and more and more such doctors in your life. You may have some very significant person who may have helped you, just came from somewhere and helped you and then went away. Okay, so as they say, every person comes into your life for a reason, season or a lifetime. So some people come into your life as doctors for a reason. Some people come into your life as doctors for a season. And some people become your lifetime friends. And your lifetime friends can begin even at the age of 50 or 60. Even if we are old, at the age of 70, we may find that there is someone who has come into your life and that person has made such a tremendous impact. May not be a friend, may not be a relative, none of these are not a father, not a mother, not a sibling, not a teacher, not a friend, not a peer, not a subordinate, but they have just come. And then you start wondering, ये अभी कैसे हुआ? अरे यार, तू 50 साल पहले नहीं आ सकता था. No. So everything has a reason and a season. So they have come in to have some impact in your life. These can also be some of the best doctors because those doctors were destined to come in your life. So why I have left that blank is just for you to keep thinking how many more. So as you travel home today, think of how many more doctors have come into your life and how they have impacted your life. Okay, and that will be one of our best contributions to this library, to say that we are talking about help library, but we have got 25 people who have helped us in their life. Just see, if all of you come together and make a list of all these doctors, how many people in this library would get impacted through these doctors?
Yes.
Yeah? See, these doctors, this is how our life is. We don't want to change our lifestyle, but we'll all go to the doctor, stand in the hospital, take pills. Okay? The easiest thing for us to do is actually just change your lifestyle. If the doctors say, if you know that there is a problem, sugar नहीं खाना चाहिए, sugar नहीं खाना चाहिए, but we'll still think, doesn't matter, we थोड़ा तो sugar खा दें. After all, doctor तो हमको दवाई तो दे ही रहा है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Or if you are supposed to keep running and jogging and reduce, हाँ ठीक है, वो तो हो जाएगा. I mean, I have to change my lifestyle, no, for it. So difficult to change my lifestyle. I would rather have a pill later and see how I can reduce my weight. I always put up slides on at the end on how we need to change ourselves. And why I have put this is these are all the bullets that attack you. This is a bullet that says people's behavior, negative work environment. These are all those barriers that come in your life. Negative world view. Somebody gives you a different view. Changing environment today. Environment is changing and you have to keep pace with that. Past experiences. We go with our past experiences only. And determinism theory. Why I am saying beware of these bullets is the environment today is saturated with all this. So from everywhere you get lots of bullets of negativism.
Be aware, because otherwise we get carried away.
One is you need to be aware. The other is when this happens, which is the doctor that you are going to in your life? Who is the doctor you want to go to in your life? We just saw so many doctors. Who can help you at the time when these bullets hit you?
And one bullet is missing there. The politicians today are playing a big role in influencing the life of the common man, for good or for bad.
Yeah, so I have not taken any group of people. I have just taken an environmental view of how we can navigate this. So this is what everything is about. Life will never provide success directly. It can only provide you with possibilities and opportunities. Like we said, conscience. The conscience will never give you success. Your last doctor, the most important doctor, the conscience, will never provide you success. Conscience will only provide you possibilities and opportunities. These are the two views. You select which you think is right. It is up to you to convert them to success. So a conscience tells you that, look, this is the direction, this is the direction. Be careful what you choose. You choose what you think is right. The conscience can give you a direction and take you, but it will not hold you and say, come on, now you do this. But you get all the indicators that this is what I should do. You know, because you have a wisdom and you've gone through the wisdom and you have a past, you have a future, and you are in the current present and you know which one to choose. When the conscience tells you that this is how it is, you know what is to be done. So therefore, life only provides you with possibilities and opportunities. How much you want to make a success out of it is left to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's short, but
Yes.
I thought it's enough.
Very good.
Thank you.